But I didn't really realize how good of a name was until one day I was delivering, and I was in that old van with the logos Pop Brothers, and these two kids, when they saw my band, they just look at me and say, Pop Brothers! And they were so excited. And, I just remember looking at them and saying, damn, the name just sounds good. It's just...
Me, awful, home, auto, muscle, builders, lips, and life is rich.
Oliver's good.
Oliver Shots is rich.
How long did it take for you to get this off the ground? So from like, idea, business model, how long did it take to come out with the perfect, I'm pretty sure you did popsicles and did trial and error. How long did that take?
We started, so when I started Pop Brothers, we have the name, we bought the equipment, and I have never in my life made one popsicle. So, everybody, my wife, my bigger fan, she was like, I know you can do it. And in my mind, I was pretty sure that I could do it, but I had never done it.
Yeah.
So we find ourselves, Lim Meadows was fantastic. They give us their kitchen, and it's like, just work here. So I started there working with the machines and just figure it out. When you freeze something, you lose flavor. So how you compensate for that. So all these things. And also, I remember people saying, "No, you need to be careful. You are in Mississippi, so you make chocolate or this." Well, my first,
snowball stand.
Yeah. My first popsicle was strawberries with basil and 25-year-old balsamic glaze. That was like here. This is who I am.
This is what you wanted.
I'm not doing, chocolate and strawberry. If I make the chocolate, I'm gonna be the best chocolate. No.
How'd you taste that popsicle? Where'd you find this popsicle at?
So, when I used to live in Chicago, I managed some of the best restaurants in Chicago. But one of the things that I always remember is in the morning going to the restaurants and seeing the little Mexicans coming out with the little tricycles, and clink, 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 clink. And I always remember that idea. The popsicle, what they call paleta, is so important for them.
Paleta?
Yes, that's how Mexicans, how Latinos call it, right? So I love the concept, but I always knew that I wanted to make it in a way where Americans feel comfortable. So make something that our market will understand and will like. So, when you see a paleta, is basically chemicals and so on, So my idea was, let's just make it in a way where people see the difference between those that you can buy in Walmart or whatever and what we are doing. We're not doing just popsicles. It's basically ice cream and a stick. It's just really something that is much, much higher than popsicles.
So less preservatives.
Less preservative, and also, we have so many flavors. I'm my worst enemy because I create all these flavors. I can't stop coming out with new flavors, and I feel that if that's the beauty of not having, not working with somebody else, not having partners or anything, because nobody gonna tell me what I can do. That's the thing that I love. I work so hard, but I come back home and I'm thinking about it, and I see something on TV, like, oh my gosh, I can do that. I love that dessert. I love this, this combination. I'm always looking for ideas, for things that I can transform in a popsicle.
And you have the best packaging because you can just make your little label and put it on there.
That's right.
So the plastic stays the same, and it's just your company logo on it, which I love that. I love marketing, and I was telling Shannon, the way y'all brand, the way y'all market, it's very simplistic. Mm-hmm. So the plastic on their popsicles, it's on every popsicle.
Exactly.
So they have this little, it's really cute, stamp. Mm-hmm. It's like a paper stamp. Nothing. Yep. It's kind of like that old typewriter font.
Yes, exactly.
And so you just go and you're like, you know what? I'm going to do a double cookie and a mint.
Exactly.
How long does that usually take to come up with the concept and then execute what you really like? What Octavio, I'm pretty sure you have to pass a certain test.
Mm-hmm.
You don't just put anything out.
No, of course, and we spend a lot of money on that creation part. I come up with an idea, and I try it, and probably the first batch is almost what I want, but it's not there. So that all goes in the garbage, and you start all over because now you learn a little bit more about it. So, for example, with the cocktail pops, it took me 4 years to, that I'm aware, nobody else in the United States have been able to do what we do, which is freeze
cocktail pop
alcohol.
Yeah.
And not just, people, what other companies do is like slushy, they put it in the freezer, they get a little hard, as soon as they take it out, it melt.
Yeah.
Or popsicles stay, they are solid and they stay there. And alcohol don't
they can
want
make
to
at least over 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Because I've been holding one before. It's just, I wanted to see. It's alcohol, so I wanted to see. And I was kind of impressed.
Well, that's one of the tests that we do. I mean, I make a popsicle, I sit it in and we put a timer and see how long it takes to melt. So all that is part of.
So Lynn Meadows was your first test kitchen.
Yeah,
that's so cool. Is that the location that we go to now on the beach? Same spot?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I love that place.
Yeah, we love it too. They were so grateful and just they love it because I was giving them all every batch that I was making. I will call everybody and they will run to the kitchen to try popsicles. So to me, it was a perfect thing of I'm making something, I want to see the reactions.
That's true. My parents had a snowball stand in Latimer called Cool Spots that I worked at. And we also had the ice machine that made the ice.
Yeah.
So people bought around. So people would come by the house and I'd sell block ice.
Yeah.
I mean, I made, I don't know, $50 a week. I had to work it after school. But I remember it was on the corner of our house. So we had we lived in Latimer, and right across the street was Crew Church Country Corner. It was a gas station.
Okay.
So my uncle owned it first, and he got out of it. Then they just moved it down the road to our house and put it on the corner, which was a busy meat store. It was just a concrete floor, gas station, had all your foods.
True.
And you go get your turkey, and if you need to buy expired food, they'd sell it to you. It was Crew Church Country Corner, and everybody knows that in St. Martin, Latimer.
Gotcha.
So it was just a spot.
Mm-hmm.
After school, I would get off, and then I would run home about, I don't know, probably 30 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'd prep.
Yeah.
Cut that thing on.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of work.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, that dealing with ice.
Yeah.
And it was then it's syrup.
Yeah.
Mixing the syrup. I remember making so many mistakes just, rushing.
Yeah. So you're talking, and you're absolutely right. It's very difficult. Now, put another difficult part, which is fresh fruit. Now you have to process the fresh fruit, and a strawberry tastes one way today and a completely different way tomorrow.
You can have a sour,
exactly,
a bitter, and then you can have a sweet.
So you have to adjust. You have to adjust everything. So thank you. Love your coffee, man. Really good coffee.
Good coffee, thank you. So I didn't know. Wow, that just hit me because fresh fruit.
Yeah,
it's what you process it. Yeah, because one day it could be a sour strawberry, but you have to be kind of consistent on how you do your popsicles.
Very consistent. So people are expecting, they don't want a sour strawberry popsicle. So, every time, and that's a difficult part. That's why I have to be in the production facility every day. And when I make the purees, I'm the only one that can get that consistency. I have great employees, but I haven't get yet the person that can do what I do, which is to just get that consistency all the time, no matter, you get it to that point that you want, that people expect.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at that, and look at fashion, Tom Ford,
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Hilfiger, Ralph Lauren. There's people that can't copy what they do.
That's right.
The polo.
Mm-hmm.
It's just and even if you could see what a Tommy Hilfiger, you could see his designs versus, which I know he has people now, but you could see when he makes something.
Yeah.
it's your craft.
Yeah, and listen, I don't want anybody else to do what I do. So,
You want the test kitchen and a good team behind
yeah,
you.
yeah, exactly.
What the thing with snowballs was condensed milk was always a winner.
Mm-hmm,
So if you did strawberry, any kind of ice cream, you just throw for 50 cents more. You throw one condensed milk. You don't have that option.
Yeah,
you have to make it in the package to have that taste to it.
Exactly.
You have to the people don't realize that you do a strawberry snowball, then put condensed milk for an extra 50 cents.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have you have to put that in the packaging, make sure it freezes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's gotta be a lot.
We have, for example, Vietnamese coffee, which is made with espresso, condensed milk, cream, vanilla, and you cannot make it other ways. If you don't put those ingredients, and condensed milk is expensive, but at the end, I put the right ingredients. And I'm one of the things that I learned after working all these years
in the
restaurant business is to be able to get things on the cost that I need to be. So, I know a lot about food costs. So I'm always, in my business, you really have to be smart, because strawberries, for example, just let me give you an idea. Sugar, when we started the business in 2015, 25 pounds was $9. Right now, it's 20-something dollars. So you have to adjust. We
So 60-70% more?
Exactly.
Wow.
So how you keep the same price without, or the same quality and so on, without raising prices. So what you do is you buy more. You buy a larger amount, so your price is less. The more that you buy, the more sugar that you buy, the cheaper that it is. So we started buying one bag of 25-pound sugar. Now we buy pallets.
Well, allegedly pallets. Allegedly. I mean, for all we know, they only sell 100 popsicles a month.
We make thousands of popsicles a day.
I'm just looking out for you.
We love it, when we go somewhere and somebody's like, "Oh my gosh, you guys are the popsicle people. You make it in your kitchen."
Well, I mean, now commercial kitchen.
Exactly. We have a commercial kitchen. We have a lot of employees. We hire a lot of people.
And the fun thing about this is Shannon, and this is his wife Shannon is a great friend of mine.
Yeah.
It took them years to get a car.
Yeah.
Literally they had their work van, and that is it.
That's it.
So that is not made up.
No.
I remember when the day y'all bought the car, she called me.
Yes, we were just freaking out.
You got a car with AC?
Yeah, yeah. And it was something that we were proud of.
Yeah.
Because really for years and years, when we started the business was our life.
Yeah.
We didn't have like a social life. We were always in the little bands or working, just.
Remember that one you had that was a creepy band.
Yeah.
You still got it?
I still got it, and I get upset when people say creepy band. Because, they wanted to, the price was $6,000 for the van.
Yeah.
And I get it for $1,000. I negotiate. That poor guy, at the end, he just go ahead, just take it.
Did you ever wrap it?
Yeah.
So it's wrapped now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember when you wasn't wrapped.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when we bought it, it had bees inside. It had been parked for such a long time that it have a bee nest inside. It was just crazy.
It's just kind of like my little Scion out there, a little car I have.
Mm-hmm.
I had that when I started my first business. The other day, I'm driving, and I'd got my new truck,
mm-hmm.
but the other day I was driving to pick up my mom's medicine at the beach pharmacy.
Yeah,
my belt broke. I didn't know. I kept driving.
Yeah,
I make it to Will Market and start seeing the red light flash. I pull over to the gas station. I kind of knew the belt was gone. And I pull up to that gas station and talk to the owner. He's like, "Hey, what's going on? You all right?" I said, I said, yeah, I just need to get some water in it and try to make it home. So I fill it up with water, and as I'm driving, I'm like, it shouldn't have this problem. And I'm like, wait a minute, I think my belt broke.
Yeah.
So this little car is like a 1.5 liter. It's just working off the battery.
Yeah.
So I pull up and it's blinking. I'm getting through the traffic, and I got to make it home. But that's kind of like how you are about your van. I still never get rid of it.
I will never sell it.
Yeah,
never.
Never gonna get me to sell it. Never.
And I still so emotionally attached to that little thing. I mean, I drove it today. I mean, it's still working. It will just don't want to give up. You know, sometimes I'm like, this poor thing gonna die tomorrow. I mean, you know, and
when you had that thing though, money was tight to even get fuel.
Oh man!
So you had some hard times in that.
Look, when we started, we put every penny. I mean, we look on the sofas for pennies. So we bought our equipment, and then we realized, wait, we just took all the money. Yeah. So it was a lot of hot dogs. You know? Oscar Mayer make a lot of money out of Shannon and I.
I'm still going through that with shutting down the mattress store.
Yeah.
The mattress store put me in about $45,000 worth of debt. Like that's just, pandemic. That's hard. Yeah. Well, I mean, getting out of it, but I'm even back to that. Like I was thinking about that, how like I made it to have that. Mm-hmm. And then, during the pandemic to lose that. Yeah. And to sacrifice, take a risk, put everything in there.
It's terrible.
But when I shut that thing down, me and my stepdad bought a bottle of bourbon. And when I left, like my landlord never changed my rent. I was paying $850 a month on Highway 90 in Gaucher.
Wow.
And Mr. Whitehead, I think I had it for 7-8 years. Never went up on rent, but I never missed a payment.
Exactly.
And I even during the pandemic was paying them.
Yeah.
Monica runs the office, and she was telling me like, when I just told him I was still a year in my lease. And I was like, I'm just tapped out financially. And she's like, that's fine, Jordan. We're here for you. And when I turned in my key, first of all, if I cleaned the whole place out, I donated like at the desk, the beds, there's a local thrift store next door. Mm-hmm. I said, can y'all just go in there and get everything out?
Yeah.
And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, if y'all feel free.
Sure.
They came in, took everything. Mm-hmm. And then me and my stepdad changed the light bulbs and cleaned it, washed, just made sure it looked better than I left. And then me and him sat there and had a bourbon. And I was like, turned in the key when they were like, if you ever want to come back, you coming back.
I'm sure that you have heard that story, but a lot of people always ask us, like, what was your plan B? And we always say the same. We didn't have a plan B. When we decided to do this, it was no point of return. And remember, I was in the casino business. I managed borrow bars, restaurants, and so on. So I was like, who gonna hire me? If I fail on a popsicle business, and then I tried to go back to a casino, can you imagine?
Yeah, but they let you back.
But just imagine somebody reading my resume. I managed all these restaurants in Chicago and famous country clubs, and then it's like, okay, and you did popsicles, and what happened? Well, so it was we never even think about it.
Do you know Scott from Hops and Growers? Right there on Government Street, right there. It was right by Pobo Express, that little brewery on the left.
I don't know him.
So he is award winning, and he was a food and beverage director for the Hard Rock. Okay. He did the same thing you did. Yeah. He started making beer at part time at night. Mm-hmm. He left the casino business to open his own little brewery called Hops and Growers.
Okay.
And he is award winning, but he's like, I don't need a sign. That's why you never see it's him and his wife. They have 25 beers on tap, but he has the same story.
Yeah.
He's like, I did it forever. He's in Vegas. He's went everywhere.
Yeah.
And he's like, I wanted out of casino life. Mm-hmm. I think there is something cool about the casino world, but I was a dishwasher to the IP.
Yeah.
That was my first job.
Wow. And
seeing that being behind them walls, it's a different life.
It is.
You don't see daytime anymore.
Exactly.
There's no daytime.
It is a very demanding life, and when you are, like I was an assistant director, you have all these people that depend on you, but you cannot have like a personal relation with nobody because they are your employees. So I always say, being a manager in a restaurant or in any kind of business is a very solitary life, because you never want to get to that, to cross that line of being an employee to being a friend.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. You want them to respect you, and you lead by example, so everybody
God, I hated
follow
that
you.
job.
Yeah.
I quit. They had a tour bus. I got treated like crap. First off, I was there working in school, and they'd work me over my hours. And I had a lead that made 25% more than me, and she wouldn't even wash any dishes. She would sit on the stainless steel table and just yell at me. And then I just got to a point, and then I had another lead above me, yelling at me, and it got to a point where the way I was treated.
Yeah.
I remember I was like, they said there's a 6 or 7 tour buses coming Saturday. Jordan, you're gonna work Saturday, right? I said, yeah. I was like, I quit. I was like, so I waited to Saturday, and I waited for Saturday. Right there when all the buses came out, I was looking at the buffet. I said, see y'all. My friend's already there waiting to pick me up.
So
that was the best day.
one of the things that I did when I started at Borough Wash, took my jacket off, take my tie off, and I start washing dishes.
Yes,
and then the next day I was cooking on the line, and the next day I was, so I wanted all the people that was under me to understand, I know what you are doing, and if you come to me and say, or you do this for me, or I'm quitting, I'm gonna say, there is the door, and I'm gonna do your job. And that to me has been always the way of, I live by example.
I mean, you still do that now with your business.
Yeah, of course.
You still sell popsicles from time to time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't have, I do.
What's your title?
Do it all.
Okay.
I work in production all day, and then when we finish production, I do all the deliveries. And remember, I mean, I was driving every 2 weeks to Houston all night, deliver all day, and come back. And the next day I was working at the stores. Never stop. That's when I say, and I know you understand this, we live this business. My wife and I, we live, we dream about the business. It's all about this. This is our opportunity. We are not, we are not getting any younger. So
you're looking more young. When I first met you to where you're at now, get a little GQ on me. I mean, you're like a silver fox.
Well, thank you.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah. I see that with y'all, and yeah, I was just fascinated. Like, popsicle business is seasonal.
Yeah,
let's be honest. How does one make it all year round?
Okay, so when you are in the coast, I mean, we are very lucky. We have a longer season than, let's say, Chicago or Portland or whatever, right? So one thing that we knew is that okay, I'm sorry. Okay. We spend so much money and so much time on training our employees. We knew our employees were so important for the business. They are the ones that, you're not at the stores every single day. You need them to be perfect, to be, to take care of every customer, like that's the only customer that they're gonna have in the whole day. That is being always, my passion is to train them that way, right? So we knew that we didn't want to close the business for 3 months and lose all our employees and then start all over. So put that together with having good weather here. We don't make a lot of money in the winter on those cold
January,
months.
y'all shut down too for a little while for cleanup,
just
right?
for a week.
Okay, a week.
Yeah, just for a week. But we just want to keep our employees. That's kind of like the most important thing. And we also don't want a customer to say one day, I want a popsicle and we are closed. We don't want them to think about our schedule of hours or whatever. We are always there. We are always open. We're waiting for you.
So you what TV show were you on that I was thinking about the other day? The guy that owns Golden Nugget.
Yes. Tillman Fertitta.
Yeah, what was the name of that?
$1 billion buyer.
$1 billion buyer. I know that you had people ask you about franchising.
Yes.
That had to be like, because I mean, I own a Janie King franchise.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, franchise, if it's done right, is a killer business model.
Mm-hmm.
But have you ever thought about that?
All the time, but meaning we get calls all the time from people that want to buy a franchise for us. I don't want to do franchises.
I mean, if you ever did, you'd have to be like a Chick-fil-A where you'd have to you train them for years and years.
Exactly.
Like you couldn't let them go. You'd still be an owner.
Yeah. So before we did Pop Brothers, we were working for a company called Fresh Hospitality. And the one thing that I learned is that franchisees, all they care is about the penny. They don't really care about
they
the
like
business.
selling the franchises and I know.
Exactly. So
good business.
My idea when we opened this business was I want to give my employees, people that work for me for years, and they know how we, they live, and they know the business. I would love to give some of my employees like I give you Hattiesburg. We open 2 stores there. We give you 1% of the business. Yeah. But it's people that, we already know them. They know the passion that we have for this business. So we know they will be well represented.
Are you saying 100% right now that it'll never happen?
No. I mean, that's still my dream. I would love to do that.
You'd have to have somebody trained for so many years. I mean, number one, they'd have to figure out. I mean, you'd have to have. I mean, will the popsicles just be made locally here in Gulfport at through you with your test kitchen, and you send out to each restaurant, because you wouldn't allow anybody. You would never give your secret out.
No.
Yeah, I was like, because I could sit there and test you. You would never tell your ingredients.
No.
But I can understand that.
The recipes is what is the value of.
Has somebody ever really thought to ask you for that?
All the time.
And try to pay you for it?
Yeah.
And you're like, I can't.
Mm-hmm. I will never give them.
Have you patented or?
We have patented some, we're working in patent. For example, the name Pooch Pop. Of course, Pop Brothers is patent, but some of the ideas, recipes are very hard to patent.
Yeah, but there's still something you can do, huh?
Yeah, let's talk about that later.
I'm curious. I'm curious how that would, like, I got to talk to my stepdad about that. There's a situation where they are, but the process can be, I think the process can be. I'll ask.
I'm not sure.
I mean, because you have this certain way. But imagine if I came in trying to make a popsicle, mine would probably melt in 2 minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
And yours melt. What is the longest, like, on the cocktail pop?
I think the last time I checked was around 13, 14 minutes.
Yeah, because I had it at Chandelier in the heat to see. I hit 10 minutes with mine.
Yeah. I remember.
I was curious. I was literally just like, I wonder how long this will last.
Yeah.
That was the hardest thing because, guys, this alcohol
don't want to freeze.
Yeah, does not want to freeze. You can do whatever you want. You can do your hot tomato. You can do whatever you want. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm also the type of person that likes a good melted popsicle. I will tell you that. Like, I know that I was telling you about the drink because we were at I grabbed one of their seltzers at Shandy.
Yeah,
and I took the bourbon
sour. Yeah,
and I put it in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
dude. It's like, this is insane.
And also, I want you to understand we are not putting cheap alcohol on it. We put Grand Marnier in our margaritas. We put really good ingredients. I had never put an ingredient that I'm embarrassed of. I will never do that.
Yeah, because your name's on it.
Exactly. Every popsicle they are my babies. I put I probably pack every single one of them.
When we look at like the Pink Dress Run, you do it with us. You're on the board with us.
I love it.
I feel the same way. Like when I make the designs, like you never see my name on it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need
exactly
because like if you know, you know.
Yeah.
Like if you know, you know.
Yeah. If you have to tell people.
Yeah.
That's
because like somebody like Marty was pretty big. I was like, you need to have your signature on it. I'm like, it just I feel like I'm taking away.
Mm-hmm.
Even right now, like the me doing a few of these prints. Now I am but I am putting my name on that.
Yeah.
Just this is the only time I'm doing it with my prints, for my like photography prints. But when it comes to design, like when we make our banners or we make our dresses or we make our graphics or our flyers and always full of life, it's like, I don't need you to know. I mean, I need you to be there and take it in. Like when you take a picture with one of our banners, that's cool to me.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what I started, like, that was our big year when it was our second year. We had all our white banners and it was just boring. And I remember saying like, and shout out to Mitchell Distributing, like they're great, but they were making they print our banners. Yeah. But when the people were making them for us, it was just generic white banners with no life. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm gonna make these things.
Yeah, exactly.
Pop. Yeah. And everybody like they want to take them home.
So let me tell you, it took us several months to come with the logo and with the name. You know, I remember Chuck Shannon. Or designer Jason, and just sitting on a table and just throwing names and throwing concepts and ideas and blah 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 before we started the business. I mean, we knew the name and our logo was that important. Okay, so Pop Brothers come out and we all love it, and that, you know, we keep talking about it, and that's a name that we all like. But you know, I didn't really realize how good of a name was until one day I was delivering, and I was in that old van with the logos Pop Brothers, and these two kids, when they saw my van, they just look at me and say, Pop Brothers! You know, and they were so excited. And, you know, I just remember looking at them and saying, damn, the name just sounds good. You know, it's just, it was the first time that I realized that's a great name.
Well, I mean, Pop Brothers. That's what I did. Oliver Scott, same, similar. Yeah. I mean, I think I did take influence on doing, like, I liked how y'all did too, and that's how I did too. I did have influence on y'all. I was like, I'm gonna kind of go that route. Yeah. I'm gonna do Oliver Scott. Yeah. Yeah. And you kind of goes off the tongue better. I know. I'm gonna lie. I looked at your stuff because when I was designing, I looked at your stuff. It's like, what did I want to name the insurance company? You know, and that was because, you know, you see a lot of these insurance company names and they're insane. Yes. I can't even spell half of them. No. And I already have a problem being dyslexic. It was like, nah, I think, you know, with Oliver having his speech issue, I was in Hooked on Phonics and I had speech, still do, speech issues. But I was like, that's a confidence builder. Make him the mascot.
Dude, you know, I have so much respect for you. I mean, you know, you have things that you have to, you know,
overcome.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you already start the run behind other people. Yeah. But you have ended in front of other people just because your perseverance. Yeah. You know, just because you have or other part of your body. I think really big.
Well, you know, having cerebral palsy, I have like, you know, 20% my feeling on the right foot, but kind of I feel for me that it's kind of like I look at people, I'm like, you got two good legs.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly.
Cool. Yeah, cool. Well, let me outwork you. Yeah. You know, Butler came on. We're talking. He's like, man, he goes, you do this, you do that, you do this, you do that. I'm like, I just don't watch football. Mm-hmm. Like I don't watch movies. Yeah. Like I'm in my office creating. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes I do spend time with Emily and we watch a family movie together. Yeah. But I don't want to do that. I want to make something.
Yeah. So, you know, we work all day and then we come back home and Shannon is doing billing and taxes and all this stuff. And I'm in my computer just looking for new recipes and new concepts. So we're still working.
I mean, watch a TV show every now and then.
Yeah.
But you just sit there for 4 hours?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
Too much.
Like, what? I feel like, you know.
I can do that.
I don't know. You know, I'm 37. I don't know if I'll be walking in 3 years. I don't know. Yeah. But I'll promise you this much. I'm going to keep going. Yeah. And keep pushing myself. Yeah. And I think everybody can do that. I think I'm not a firm believer in the whole like 9 to 5. I know people enjoy like 9 to 5, go to work and then cut it off when you're done. Yeah. It never clicked for me. Yeah. It's just not It's not me. But everybody's different. I mean, everybody's different.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, I wanted to own my thing, to grow it, to to be my own, make my own decisions, and if something fell, it's my fault. Nobody else. You don't have excuse. You cannot point the finger in somebody else and say, "Oh no, what's that person?" It's like it's me.
Dude, the insurance has been tough. Yeah, it's just starting over and getting your carriers right, getting your relationships right.
Sure,
but I love it. And it keeps me up at night. Like, thank you to a legal pad, guys. Get you a yellow legal pad. But no, I'll get up, man. I'll tell you what. I'll wake up. Sometimes let's say I wake up at 11 o'clock at night because there's so much in my mind.
Yeah.
I just get up and get on the computer.
Yeah.
And I just will, and I'll go back to sleep when I feel. I mean, and I can actually do that. And I think Emily got accustomed to me like just waking up and getting up middle of the night, like. Last night, got up, and I just go to work for 2 hours, and I lay back down, and I feel better because I get it off my chest.
Yeah.
And I think writing it down has been really big, and I'm growing up, so I'm getting stronger, and I'm also not letting so many people in on my ideas.
Good.
It's something that I had to learn.
Yeah.
Now I'm just creating.
Yeah.
And I can do like this show. I can do whatever. Like I want to have you on because you are. The main person behind, for the creator of that of Pop Brothers.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people know that, that you and your wife have put in so many late hours, but like you make the flavors.
I do, but and without my wife, I will know.
No, she told me that she when I told her that I wanted you on the show, she was like, "Really?" Like, yeah. I think let's. We need to tell his story. Yeah. And I think that's why Pop Brothers popsicles are so good. It's because you are your worst critic.
Yeah. No, you are absolutely right. Yeah. God, I'm more demanding than any of my customers.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I mean, sometimes you should see the faces of my employees, the ones that work in the manufacturing with me, where I say, no, let's just throw it out. Let's throw it in the garbage. Just dump it. Like we're gonna start all over again. And they're like, really? I mean, they were delicious, but they were not perfect. They were not. We don't gonna lower standards just to save a couple bucks. We just put it in the garbage and we start again.
Do you have that kind of like chef mentality where you throw things?
Yeah. Oh no.
No,
I never. I actually started my career in food and beverage here in the United States that way. I mean, I remember I was the food and beverage director of Marriott downtown Chicago, and the executive chef was this guy from Germany, and his chef jacket had so much starch that that thing didn't even move. I mean, it was perfect, but he will throw glasses on us. I mean, he will just start. He come to our meetings and start throwing glasses on my employees. I mean, I grew up in this business in the time where chefs were just doing coke all night and coming back to work all day without sleep. And, it was a bad time to be in the food and beverage. I learned from that. I knew that I never wanted to do that. I'm just a different person on that.
I mean, it's a creative life. A chef's creative life. Yeah. I mean, it's if you have any creation, you are your worst critic, and that's what I battle with. Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
Do you like? So I don't throw things, or I don't get into that violent stuff. But like, damn it, do I like? The worst thing that I battle with is like creating something like an ad or some type of graphic, and then going back looking at a year later and how much I hate it.
Yeah.
Like I'm being serious. I'll go back and I'm like, this is just shit.
Yeah. Like, see, I don't see it that way. Okay. So my recipes, they change all the time. I'm always learning something. So the recipes are alive. I come back to a recipe that I was doing a year ago, and I see the changes, how much I have improved it. So I don't see it like and I'm not saying that it's a wrong way, but when I see something that I was doing a year ago and now I'm doing it better, I don't think about like, oh, that was terrible. I'm thinking like how much better. is now. You know how much I have improved.
I mean, I still. I mean, I think that I see that I'm getting better, and I know that, but I'm still going. Shit, I could have had the my photography, which I've shot photos of you, but like my photography, I'm not, dude. It's the world. Like, I just broke my $1,400 lens the other day, and I was just. But you've been in that lens. Yeah. It was on my total gem right there, and if it leaned over, I was doing my own headshot, and it slipped and fell and broke, and I was just like. Oh, well, and I took a picture of my iPhone. But I mean, I was hurt. I mean, it was like, but I ain't gonna lie. So I did get violent with that lens when I broke it, because I knew I broke it and it was just done. And by the time I pulled it up, I'm like, I could just get me a pre-owned one for what they want to get it repaired, and maybe it won't fix it. Yeah. I took that lens and that little wooden table right there, I just slammed it for 5 minutes. And I just put it on my wall. So you see it it's right there on my wall. Yeah, it's just sitting there. But I just sat there, like slamming it, and it felt so good. And I'm like, because that lens is seen, I would say 50,000 shots. Yeah. It's a lot of shots. A lot capturing memories. Sure. People like a lot of photos. Of your wife. Like there's this, and good thing I have them in the cloud. Yeah. But it's just like a lot of like. That's how I view photography as in like an art form. Yeah. Photography to me is my football. You know, I love to create. Now insurance is a platform for me to take care of my family and my community. And we can help us with Carter's Champions, and I can have, customer service is what I'm good at. But photography is where I'm about to get crazy with it, dude. I'm going to grow insurance so big that like and I still do photography. I still shoot Butler homes because I love shooting homes. Like every one of Butler's houses, I shoot. Oh, okay. So I love it. Yeah. I love architecture. I love seeing, Butler building like a hidden drawer. Yeah. It's a cool thing. It's like, I love when you built I love your bench in Ocean Springs. Yes. Thank you. I love that. And I love the way it wraps around them. Yeah. And so, that little piece changed the whole entire place. I believe so. I mean, Shannon and I, we wanted to always create I usually tell my employees, I'm not in the business of selling popsicles. I'm in the business of selling experience. So, when you come to our stores, you open the door and you see all those different colors and all those different flavors, the colors in the walls. We have to think about everything, we want the entire family to come, the entire family to enjoy the experience. The dad with 3 kids is not breaking the bank, and he's having something that is unique, and he also gets something that he like. How many times you go to do something with your kid and you hate every second. Chicky cheese, you take your kid there and you're like, I hate being here. I don't want that. I want you coming to my store with your kid and actually you wanting to be there more than your kid, because you love this one flavor. We have flavors that are for grown-ups, not just the cocktail pops, but we have popsicles from dad, mom, the children's, the dog. I mean, we cover the entire family, and it's a secure environment. When you are in our stores, you feel comfortable. You are sitting on on a bench that shape. It kind of like cocoon you. You just feel secure there, and it's a safe place, and that's what we like. I mean, we love, for example, Ocean Spring when we go there and the bench is full of people with dogs and everybody's happy. And I mean, how mean have you to be mad when you buy a popsicle? Right. I mean, you really have to be a psycho, because it's happy. You come to our stores and it's just happiness there. So your background though, you're in the military. Where were you from? So I'm from Spain. Okay, in Europe. So you were you told me a little bit, but you were in the military. Yeah, I was in the Secret Services. Secret Service. Bodyguards. A bodyguard for in Spain we have a king, and then we have 4 captain generals. I was in charge of the protection of the south of Spain, captain general. So what was that like? It was incredible. This was in the 80s, and in Spain we have terrorist groups
that were killing um, military, police, just people in the streets every single day. I mean, you know, when you leave on you come out today and you don't know if you're gonna come back. It's your adrenaline, and you just live every second. And I just love it. I absolutely love that life that I had. The stress, the the experience, the responsibilities.
How do you become Secret Service in Spain? I mean, now is it that lifestyle? I mean, it's like here, there's a lot more comforts, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. But how'd you land that job?
So, in Spain,
you got to be like a person that had connections.
Well, actually, no. In Spain, at that time you had to spend 1 year of your life in the military.
Okay.
It was,
mandatory.
Mandatory.
Or you're going to prison.
No, but
okay.
I mean, you have to do it. You may have some excuses, but normally everybody does it. So when I went, I was already champion of Spain in bodybuilding. So I was already huge. And of course, when
all natural.
Let's just it's a selection. You go when I went there, they started scouting me, and so I went into the military police first, and then they offered me to go into the bodyguards. It was a 6-month training. We started 80 something guys, and we only ended 6. So the process was extremely hard. We were trained by some of the best in the business from Israel, and understand that you are training to give your life for somebody else, somebody that is not your family, that is not, So it's something that you have to really like. I was the biggest one, the heaviest one, so everything was more difficult for me because, the other guys were more agile or whatever, but I persevered and I did it.
And how long did you do that for?
For a long time.
Really?
And
what made you want to leave there? Because I mean, by then you already became like a rank, so you probably had a decent home.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah,
you were known.
My story is different than other immigrants. I didn't leave Spain because I didn't have opportunities there, like majority of the people that come here. They come because they are looking for a better life. I have a great life in Spain. I just, I have family in Chicago. They offered me to come to run their business. I worked for them for almost 2 years, and I realized that, that's not what I wanted. I mean, they didn't want me to take over the business. They just wanted me to work my ass. So I have an option. I could have come back to Spain and complain and say, oh my gosh, they treat me so bad. And that, and everybody will have to say, oh yeah, of course. But I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to, give up. So what I did is I went I started as a ballet parking at Marriott downtown Chicago. And 6 months later, I was the food and beverage director. Then I was in Marriott and I received a call one day, and it was Mike Ditka's, the coach from the Bears.
Yeah.
He have a restaurant.
And Saints.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He don't want to remember that. But
and the Saints.
So, he's on the phone and he's like, hey, I have a bunch of customers that come from your hotel there. I'm talking about you. I want to talk to you. And the next day I was working for him. So, it's being, like I told you earlier, I mean, I feel like I'm the American dream personalized. I have the opportunities. I've been working in a restaurant and somebody come and say, I don't care how much you're making here. I pay you double. Just come to work for me. I mean, that's just amazing. So,
that's why it's cool to have you on the show, because I was like, we got to tell a story, like, because it's important.
Yeah.
It's important that people know when they eat that popsicle.
Yeah.
Like, that you've done these incredible things, but it's all, your mindset is still, I mean, you have changed, you and your wife and your brother-in-law have changed the way you look at a popsicle down here.
Oh,
and that's facts.
Yes.
Like you've changed the way somebody enjoys a popsicle.
And also, yes, you are absolutely right. Another thing that I love is a lot of our customers are so personally involved. I mean, like I have seen people going to the airport, picking up a friend or a family member or whatever, and the first place that they come is to Pop Brothers. And they open the door and it's like, look at this. Almost like they own the store. And I just absolutely love that. And I want you to understand the same way that when somebody look at your pictures and they're like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Every time I see somebody eating one of my popsicles, I feel so honored and so proud of do something that people love so much.
How'd you phrase something like that? And people actually, it's a cult following now. I mean, you're really starting to build that. It's happening because I mean, like you said, people hit your spot first. You go to, especially like, Gulfport. I've been there a couple times, but Ocean Springs is my spot.
Yeah,
I'm from Ocean Springs. Now I'm a transplant to Gulfport, and Gulfport is growing on me. But Ocean Springs, that is an incredible.
It is.
It's like you see the line of people, and they're not mad about the wait.
Mm-hmm.
They're just hanging out.
Yeah.
And it's one time I went, man, there was 25 people in line.
Yeah.
And you got to keep in mind, guys, if you go there, be respectful because it is just, they don't have an indoor dining area. Yeah. It's just it's a window.
Exactly.
And normally
small.
it's normally a sweet teenager.
Mm-hmm.
So be respectful.
Yeah.
Because they're working hard too.
Exactly.
Every time I go there, every time I go there, I'm like, pick me a flavor. I don't even ask. I'm like, what do you think I should have? Let me try that one.
Yeah. And our employees, every time that we make a new flavor, all the employees try it. They know all the ingredients. They know how it tastes. They have a description. We will give them, like a guanábana. It's a fruit that people are not familiar with. Or employees know exactly where they come from. What is the flavor profile?
So we had Ryan on Barnona. He's Italian. See, Barnona. Ryan, you're gonna get mad about it. He's on. He literally podcast dropped today. Barnoni, Baroni. How would you?
Barnoni.
Yeah, he is the general manager for J. Allen Mazda.
Okay.
And he was talking about product knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're going back and forth, but like, Mazda's making great cars. Educating your salespeople to know that.
Exactly.
Same thing with that same thing when I'm doing insurance. It's like I'm learning everything I can because I don't sit there and be like,
exactly. Yeah. Doesn't.
Well, I don't know.
So
try one.
And also, training your employees is so important, and it's also free. It's something that you do for them. So before Pop Brothers, my job was to train fine dining servers. That's kind of like what put me in the map is training servers to do an incredible job. I give our employees the same training that I give, the servers that work in a steakhouse that your check gonna be $300 or $400. So you are getting a $4 item, but with the customer service of somebody that has been trained that, for much, much higher. And that's something that I also sometimes when I go to a business and I recognize that they are not being trained that way, and I feel really bad for the employee because it's not their fault. They haven't been trained. They don't know what they should do. Nobody have told them. So they do I don't know. Or
I need you to help me with, me and Emily are working on a handbook right now.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to help me
sure
clean that up. Because I want to have that for the producer. I got a couple producers coming on, and I want them to have, like I even going to have in the back of the book, and I can tell you anyway, so I'm not going to cheap out on this one. But like our underwriters, I'm going to call them gatekeepers.
Yeah.
So when you start, I'm going to have their strengths like a video game.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, call Chris.
Yeah.
If Chris, it does transportation, and it's going to have his strengths. So you can have, here's his email, here's his phone number. This is where you need to put the application with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that way you're not, who do I have to talk? What underwriter do I need to talk to? I don't want to.
Yeah.
It's like, to me, how can I simplify time?
Yeah.
There's a lot of wasted time in insurance. And literally, it's like go to lunch and then figure out, like you need I want to, for me, shrink that thing. So it's like, hey, you don't have to ask me, just look in the book.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm going to have like a little, not a crazy dress code, but a little dress code in there. And I mean, I was going over and I was talking to Shannon. I'm like, I mean, I definitely need that book.
Yeah.
Like everybody needs for their business. You need to build the rules.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, and you figured it out.
And you had to be very, very clear, in what you want, because not everybody understand your level.
You can't pick your brain.
Exactly.
So I'm learning it. I'm growing up.
I just you said the dress code. I mean, sometimes you go to a place and the employee is like scary,
Yeah.
and we don't want that. We want, and we told our employees, we want everybody to be comfortable when they come to our. So you have to be. Maybe you want to have, I don't know, a big ring in your nose. It's fine, but maybe not in our business, because we want everybody to come to.
Yeah.
So,
It's your food and beverage background that did all that book. Like you're like, because you had a hire and fire.
Yeah.
And you figured out this. No, we need to change this, and I mean, I'm figuring it out. I know that like I went straight into doing this insurance office, and I'm like, I was like, sat down with Emily. I'm like, we need a handbook.
Mm.
So we've been designing it together.
We have handbooks. We have checklist. We have 3 managers: Alisa, Caleb, Corey, that train our employees for weeks.
You know what I have that you don't have though? Mm-hmm. Emily and Carrie Joe started their own promotional product company. You know John's old office?
Yeah.
It's called Crafty Clover.
Oh.
And they have they do promotional products, shirts, mugs. They have like laser engravers, like cut anything out of wood.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to give you some merch, but you can order merch from my website.
Okay.
Because we can make it in house.
Yeah.
So like anything you need, like made out of metal, the girls like, you need to see this machine.
They have one of the laser.
Carrie Joe?
Yeah.
So they rent a spot over there right by your office, but they can make anything now. And it's just cool to have that.
Yes.
And they don't have like a really, honestly, right now, they're not running some crazy minimum.
Mm-hmm.
So like, it's just cool. Like,
yeah,
I'm going to be making like the mugs they do. Mm-hmm. Like they made this mug.
Yeah. I love it.
That's simple.
Yeah.
But like moving
but the
into
message is great.
Huh?
The message.
Shout out to Denise. We're going to have a show coming in March. Yeah, I need to have that handbook. I feel like I'm naked without it.
Yeah. Also, one other thing that I love that Shannon and we're very proud of, giving opportunities to people. I have this unbelievable employee working for me on the production. Her name is China, and this girl have a rough life. Okay. It was hard for her. And I think that some people will just say, no, I'm not taking the risk. I remember when I interviewed her, I told her, we're going to try. We need to like each other. This is a small space. We're going to spend a lot of time together. She has developed to be, one of our best employees. She's just incredible. You can give her responsibility. She will take. It's just, when you see people growing, not just as a person, but as a professional. Yeah. And you are giving them those opportunities. And in the future, I want to give them more opportunities. I want them to grow with the company. I want them to, even if they left.
You want a family. You want a work family.
But even if they left our business, I want them to say, you know what, I'm here because.
But they can't start their own popsicle store.
No.
There's got to be something in the paperwork.
It is.
That's fair.
But also, my employees, they know that what we're doing is really hard and it's very,
So how long is it? Like, how long is it? Do you have your, like, you have that written out?
Yeah.
Like, you can't for a few years?
Yeah. No, it's a no competing contract. And
I'm asking this for your knowledge because I think everybody in their business should have something like this.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just common. Like, this is something that you should have.
Yeah. I mean, because the intellectual part of the business, you have to protect that. They are seeing us, they seeing our recipes. They know the recipes, so you have to protect that part. You cannot let them, go to the next guy and say, hey, let me tell you how we do this. I mean, that's the most important part of our business.
So here's another question. Would you ever, all right, let's go. Would you ever sell your recipe for $1 million?
Not for $1 million.
But I mean,
it have a price.
There's got to be like big corporations coming after you.
Yeah,
there has to be, because like that's how corporations stay successful.
Yeah.
You think they created the idea? No. They find people like you and Shannon, and they're like, they're developed. I need to buy them.
Yeah,
I need to buy them. Now, I'm not against if you ever did that, but make sure that you have some royalties.
Exactly.
Never sell without your royalties.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fascinating because I really, one of my favorite shows was Unwrapped.
Yeah.
Because Double Dare, Mark Summers, it was my favorite. It's still my favorite show. Now that I got my medical card, it's Munchies. I highly suggest that. Have you watched Munchies?
I haven't. No.
So Munchies is on YouTube, so you can watch it.
Okay.
But they do Munchies been out for 10 years, but they do like infused.
Okay.
You definitely, if you haven't seen it, it's fascinating. They take chefs from all over the world, and they make a very insane 5-course meal.
Okay.
Who was that guy that Johnny Depp played in that movie? The author. What was his name? I'm gonna mess this up.
Johnny Depp.
He's a famous author.
Okay.
Let me pull him up real quick. I have to pull him up. Let's see. I'm gonna mess this up. All right. Let's see. Let me pull this up. Famous. It's worth it because like you'll be like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah.
Famous writer. I'm bad with names when it comes to this. Johnny.
Wasn't Truman Capote, right?
Huh?
Truman Capote?
No. Johnny Depp. Let's see. No. Hunter S. Thompson.
Okay.
Hunter S. Thomas. He was a big time writer in the like 70s and 80s. Well, they did like I just watched it last night, but 9 years ago he had a ranch before he died.
Okay.
So he wrote for like, I think he wrote for like Rolling Stones and all these magazines, but he was like the first, like he stood up for like marijuana in the 70s. But he's just very strange. Like he didn't care.
Yeah.
He's this crazy writer. I need to really start reading his work, but it's cool that they went to his ranch in Colorado. It's called like Owl Ranch, and they did a 5-course meal with his wife.
Wow.
She's a caretaker of everything now, but it's just fascinating how like he stood for something.
Yeah.
And I've got started getting into that. Like, but Unwrapped, like I love cooking shows. I love watching people develop things like making ink.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Similar like what you did. Yeah. Like I would sit there, like if you were making stuff, I'd actually sit there. I would take my medical medicine. This show's not for kids.
Sure.
I'd take my medical medicine and I'd sit there and watch you create.
Well,
it's relaxing.
We, a lot of people come to my house. We love to get parties in my house, and everybody always ended being in the kitchen, just looking on, the show is, I mean, the food is the end result, but everybody loved to be there when I
would love to watch you one day, and I will sign a paper, but like I would love to like just because it sues me like it's tough.
Yeah,
like it that's workmanship. You're taking a popsicle and making it a major business. Like that's not little.
Oh, I know,
it's
man.
Crazy. Like you're in like, are you still in Southern Miss? You're in the aquarium?
Yeah.
I mean, dude, what?
We're not in Southern Miss anymore.
You're not?
No.
Okay.
But we're still at the aquarium. We are at the Children's Museum in New Orleans. We are in the airport. We are at the zoo in Harrisburg.
You've done celebrity weddings too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's just like, but it's, if you think about it, it is, I mean, it's a popsicle.
Yeah.
How far did that simple, like, that you can share with family popsicle, just like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's like,
it is always
it's like a box of chocolates.
yes, it is. It's one of the things where people's expectations are low.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't know, let's say for example, you come from another city, right? And you pass outside one of my stores, and you're like, oh, let's see what this is, and you go inside, and somebody tell you all they sell is popsicles, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
Really? I mean, these people are crazy or what? But then when and that's what I also told my employees, your job is to get the customer to try one popsicle. When the customer put the popsicle in their mouth, then your job is done. Now is the time the popsicle is talking to the customer. You know, I love to see their faces when they try the popsicle and they realize this is not just a popsicle. This is something else. This is.
What does your family think back home of what you've created?
Oh well, I have a great story for that. So my father, who was my hero and my mentor and just an incredible person, but he's the one that put this work ethic and you have to be always the best. I always remember him telling me, if you're gonna be a garbage driver, be the best garbage driver in the world. Doesn't matter what you do, just do it right, be the best. If you're doing something and you decide to do something, don't be mediocre. Just do it all the way. Be all the way. So, he saw the things that I was doing in Spain. Of course, I mean, can you imagine you seeing your son by the King of Spain, and he was very proud. And when I come here to United States, he came a couple times, and he was managing casinos or hotel. I mean, he will always see me in these big places with the suit, the tie, the whole idea, no? So one day I called him and I'm like, hey, Dad, I'm starting a new business. And he's like, oh, really? Great, what it is? And I said, we're making popsicles. And it's a long silence. He's just, you can hear in the phone. And
what, son?
Then he said, son, you need money? and one of my, he was 90 something. So he couldn't understand what I was doing. By the end, before he died, he kind of like realized what we were doing. But first, he was like, "Oh my gosh, my son is walking on the street with a little car, and nothing wrong with that, but that's not what we do."
First year in business, and before I want to touch on that too is, and even though you were talking about, do the best you can, sometimes you lose that.
Yeah.
And you just got to get back on the right track. So people, like, if you are making mistakes, like if you're losing that touch, take a break, get back to doing that.
Learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
A mistake is a great opportunity to improve.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just telling you, even though it looks like which I have done. In this last few years, amazing things for the community. I know I have, but I've only done 20%.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. Shit's
I
on
want to do
now.
more.
Yeah, shit's on now. Like, I see it. I'm more clear. I think a lot has to do with having my family. Before I was just party animal, single guy.
Sure.
But having Emily and Oliver, it's like, I'm very focused, and I was dragging ass.
Yeah.
And now I think that's a lot of people. But yeah, you got to do it. You got to go all in. You look at Michael West. This is somebody that I'll always and forever have so much love for. Direct Auto. He got in that business. He was a welder from Lucedale. He got in the Casino Motors with his stepdad. They were selling 5 cars a month. Mike took that dealership from 5 cars a month to 140 cars a month, and he's just now bought. I ain't telling you the name of the franchise, but he's just now buying a franchise in Jackson, Mississippi.
Wow!
But he is one of the clear focused people I've ever met in my life. And it's like you see him, you see all the great things that are happening, but he still drives a 2008
sure.
Escalade.
Yeah.
He's got 65 employees. He's like, and he loves them all.
Yeah.
And but he does the same thing that like you've been doing.
Yeah.
And I'm catching on. Your grind is the reason. You and your wife and your brother's grind, stepbrother, not stepbrother, but your brother-in-law, his grind is, there's why it's here.
Yeah.
Because it's just a popsicle.
Thank you.
It is a popsicle. Put it out. It's going to melt and it's going to be gone in 15 minutes.
But it's more than a popsicle.
I know, but I know that.
That's, yes.
But it's the fact that anybody, like, if you really want to do something, you can do it.
Yes.
That's my meaning behind it.
I think that's the if it's a message that need to come out of this podcast with me today, is that you if you put your mind on it, you can do it. You just but don't go into thinking, if I don't do it, I have a plan B. Forget about plan B.
Yeah.
Just you have to go all the way. I mean, when you see my wife in the middle of the summer, doing, working in an event,
she's only 5 foot. You might not see her,
but yes. Yeah, I love her to death.
Oh, I do too. Yeah. I absolutely. I'll be riding in the parade with her tomorrow. Like she is one of my favorite people in this world.
I love what she does. Sometimes I mean, the way that she manages, family, business, community. Yeah. I'm amazed because I'm not that way.
Well, you
I'm
never
the guy
want the same person. You don't ever want to surround yourself around the same people.
Exactly.
You want everybody to be unique and different.
Exactly.
Have different views.
We complement each other. It's like with Chuck, we run ideas through him too. I mean, he have a point of view, Shannon have a different point of view. The three of us, we have different, but at the end, we come out to what usually is the right decision.
And what I meant by, like I said, just a popsicle is that you took one product, one thing, and made it a landmark, and that is cool because you could have started a Secret Service training academy.
Yeah, sure.
You could have been an instructor. You could had 10 restaurants by now, and I think a restaurant might be coming out.
Maybe.
Yeah. So, but you could have, done so many different things. It's just cool that you landed on that one thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's what people need to know is like, it doesn't have to. It doesn't. You don't have to overthink it.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure that you know this too, but you know how we started? I mean, you know why we started Pop Brothers?
No, I want to know.
So,
I kind of know, but I want to know. The listeners need to know.
And I'm sure my wife can tell the story better than me, but, deal with me for a second. So we were working, I was partnered with a chef, a very famous chef, Donald Link from New Orleans, and another company called Fresh Hospitality. So I was in between those two companies, right? And we were opening restaurants. Butcher in New Orleans is a famous sandwich shop. We take, we bring a pig and we break it down and we make it into sandwiches, into everything in the restaurant is all about pig. So anyway, I was going to open a restaurant with them in Nashville, which it will have been my restaurant. I will have a percent of the sales, so it was a very good deal. And then Shannon's daughter, Madeline, got pregnant. And, when we got that news, Shannon looked at me and I'm not going to Nashville. We are not, I cannot be that far away from my daughter. So, she was very smart. I say, what do you want me to do? I mean, you want me to go back to work in the casinos or whatever? And she's like, no. What about that idea that you have about the popsicles? So it was an idea that I have been playing with for some time, but she wasn't smart enough to say, that's the idea. That's what we should do. And I remember when, so I always, our business is kind of like a labor of love because we did it for our family. And my granddaughter, Fallon, is almost the age of the business, and from the moment, she was 2 years old, and we used to tell her, no, you are the owner of Pop Brothers. This is your business. So in the school, did she tell the other kids, I'm the owner of Pop Brothers?
I mean, I think it's going to happen to Oliver. They're in the same school.
Yeah.
And Oliver Scott it's his name. He has a sweater too. I'm like, all right, dude.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
And I'm playing. I'm never leaving this road.
Yeah.
I made my mind up. I'm not from Gulfport, but I made it my home.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some politicians that I'm gonna have a battle with, but it's what you got to do.
It.
But this is what you got to do if you live here. If this is your
yes,
this is our community, and
you have to fight for it.
And get ready, guys, because Gulfport, we need some fixing.
Yeah.
Cheers. Hey, drop the link for Pop Brothers in there, and you come back on.
I will.
Hey guys,
Anytime you need me.
we love you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate this opportunity. Thank you.
Take care.